The truth didn't arrive with a confession. It didn't come hidden inside a text message or whispered through a late-night phone call. It appeared in silence, glowing across the dashboard of a brand-new SUV while the engine hummed in our quiet suburban neighborhood outside Columbus, Ohio. One simple notification froze my heartbeat. Before I could even understand what I was seeing, my entire marriage began to unravel in front of me. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another emotional journey. I never imagined that 12 years of marriage could begin to crumble because of a car. My name is Michael, and until that afternoon I believed my wife Rachel and I had survived everything life had thrown at us. We had weathered layoffs, medical bills, sleepless nights raising our daughter Grace, and the exhausting routine that slowly replaces romance with responsibility. We weren't perfect, but we were partners. At least that's what I believed. Rachel had recently earned a promotion at the hospital where she worked as an administrator. She had spent years climbing the ladder with determination, sacrificing weekends and holidays while balancing family life. To celebrate her achievement, she traded in her aging crossover for a beautiful new SUV. She was excited like a teenager getting her first car, and seeing her smile reminded me of the woman I had fallen in love with years before. The dealership had asked if she wanted help setting up Bluetooth, navigation, and the vehicle's digital profile. She declined, saying we'd figure it out ourselves at home. That Saturday morning, we sat together in the driveway, laughing as we explored menus we barely understood. Grace played basketball nearby while the neighborhood remained peaceful under the warm afternoon sun. Rachel connected her phone first. Everything worked perfectly. Music played through the speakers, her contacts synchronized, and the display welcomed her by name. Then she remembered she had forgotten to adjust a few settings inside the house. She stepped out of the SUV, leaving the driver's door open while I continued exploring the touchscreen. That's when another prompt appeared. Available devices. One phone disappeared. Another appeared. Ryan's iPhone. At first I smiled, assuming it belonged to someone who had visited the dealership. Then, almost instantly, the system displayed a message asking whether I wanted to reconnect to the previously paired device. Previously paired. My stomach tightened. Only 1 week earlier I had casually asked Rachel about Ryan, a physician she occasionally mentioned from work. She laughed and brushed off the question, insisting he barely knew her outside hospital meetings. She had looked directly into my eyes and said, "He doesn't even have my number." Yet somehow his phone had already been paired to my wife's brand new SUV. I stared at the screen, hoping there was a logical explanation. Maybe Ryan had borrowed the vehicle during delivery. Maybe he worked part-time at the dealership. Maybe I was becoming paranoid after too many late nights and too little sleep. But doubt, once invited into a marriage, rarely leaves quietly. I didn't confront Rachel immediately. Instead, I carried the secret inside me for days, studying every smile, every late shift, every notification she quickly dismissed. I hated the man I was becoming. Suspicion poisoned ordinary moments. When she laughed at a message, I wondered who had sent it. When she worked late, I questioned every minute. Eventually, I couldn't live with the uncertainty. One evening, after Grace had gone to bed, I gently asked about Ryan again. Rachel's expression changed before she spoke. Her confidence faded into nervous silence. She didn't become angry. She didn't accuse me of invading her privacy. Instead, tears slowly filled her eyes. What followed wasn't the confession I expected. Months earlier, Rachel had become overwhelmed by pressure at work and home. She felt invisible, exhausted, and convinced she was failing everyone. Ryan had noticed her struggles after a difficult meeting and offered encouragement. They began talking during lunch breaks. Those conversations gradually became personal. He listened when she felt unheard. He complimented her when she doubted herself. For someone emotionally drained, the attention became dangerously comforting. She admitted they had exchanged phone numbers. She admitted they had talked outside work. She admitted he had sat in her new SUV one afternoon after they attended a hospital fundraising event together, helping her understand some of the vehicle's technology while waiting for heavy rain to pass. But then she looked directly at me with a pain I had never seen before. She told me nothing physical had happened. She confessed that what terrified her most wasn't losing me. It was realizing how close she had come to becoming someone she never wanted to be. The Bluetooth connection remained because neither of them realized his phone had automatically paired while he demonstrated the hands-free system. She had lied because she was ashamed, not because she loved Ryan, because she hated what she had allowed herself to become. I wanted to walk away. Every instinct screamed that trust, once broken, could never return. Yet another voice reminded me that marriages are rarely destroyed in a single moment. They slowly weaken through neglect, loneliness, pride, and silence. For weeks we attended counseling together. Those sessions weren't magical. They were uncomfortable, exhausting, and often heartbreaking. We discussed conversations we'd avoided for years. Rachel admitted she had felt emotionally abandoned while I buried myself in overtime trying to provide for our family. I admitted I had mistaken financial stability for emotional presence. Neither excuse erased the lie, but both revealed the cracks that had existed long before Ryan entered the picture. Healing didn't arrive overnight. It arrived through ordinary choices: shared dinners without phones, long evening walks, praying together after years apart, learning to listen without immediately defending ourselves. Slowly, the house that once felt filled with suspicion became peaceful again. Months later, Rachel sold that SUV, not because the vehicle was cursed, because she wanted our future to begin without constant reminders of our lowest chapter. We bought a modest used family vehicle instead. It wasn't luxurious, but every mile represented honesty rather than appearances. One Sunday afternoon, while driving home from church with Grace asleep in the back seat, Rachel quietly reached across the center console and held my hand. No dramatic speeches, no promises. Just a simple gesture filled with gratitude, regret, and hope. At that moment I realized forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's choosing every day not to let yesterday write tomorrow's ending. Before we finish, please leave a comment with the words, "Hope can rebuild." Your message might encourage someone silently struggling in their own relationship today. If this story touched your heart, reminded you of the power of honesty, or inspired you to fight for the people you love, please like this video, share it with family and friends, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that remind us all that even broken trust can sometimes become the foundation for a stronger, more compassionate future. Some wounds leave scars that never completely disappear, but scars also remind us that healing is possible. Michael and Rachel didn't erase the painful chapter that almost destroyed their marriage. Instead, they chose to write a better one together. And sometimes the greatest miracle isn't finding a perfect relationship, it's finding two imperfect people willing to keep choosing each other one honest day at a time.